I gotta get to my microphone. I got to get here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey there, hi there, ho there. It is the Karelcast. I am Karel. So very glad you are joining me. I'm a little discombobulated at the moment because I have a cup of tea. And where I'm standing is not conducive to a cup of tea. But I have one. And I want to drink it right here with you. So me and my cup of tea. It is tea time. And I do hope that you are a civil human being. And like me, several times a day, well, twice, morning and afternoon, like the Queen of England, have your tea. She also drinks gin right before lunch, has wine with lunch, and champagne after dinner, honey. Elizabeth be rocking. All right, we got a lot to talk about today. Oh my God, do we have a lot to talk about today? And it's just stuff like, life or death, basically. So here's to that. A lot of people I know facing it. Meanwhile, my song of the day will not get out of my head. How many of you have a song of the day? You wake up and there's a song in your head. I'll cut that. I'm not going to make you endure that. But I had to get it out of my head. And now it's still there. No, it's kind of out of my head now. Maybe that's what I need. I needed to purge. Maybe that is the message for today's show. When there is something that you just can't get out of your head, maybe you need to purge. If a man's up in your head or a woman's up in your head, you know what? Purge it out. Negative thoughts up in your head, purge them out. Say them out loud. Okay, if that happens, then this was what's going to be. I do it all the time. Last night, my left arm hurt right in my bicep. I said, my bicep hurts. Am I having a heart attack? And I said, well, if you are, you're going to have to go to a COVID ER. They will probably turn you away and you will die in the parking lot. So just sit your ass at home and have your heart attack. Well, that's what I told myself last night because it's happening. You're hearing about it everywhere. People having strokes, going to the hospitals, being turned away, dying. Oh, you're hearing about it. Oh, yeah. It's bad. It's bad. It's on the list of things to talk about. I do feel better now that I purged that. Maybe I'll leave it in. I'll probably take it out. I should warn you at the beginning, there is a song about to happen. Fast forward 4 minutes. Maybe I will. No, I don't know. All right, what's first on the list? Oh, Nirvana. And I don't mean, the place we get to by doing a lot of yoga. No, the kid, now 30, that was on the cover of the Nirvana Nevermind album, one of the most famous album covers in history. It had a 2-year-old child swimming in a pool with some money floating right in front of the child, and it looked like the baby was reaching for the cash. And the baby's little dingle thing was dingling there in the water. 2-year-old child in the water, album cover, buck-ass naked. Now, I don't know that they would get away with selling that album cover today. Now, this guy who was on the cover at 2, by the way, his mother consented. They did not kidnap the child. Nirvana was not this rogue band of kidnappers who kidnapped a baby, threw him in a pool, took a picture, and made an album. No, this was all cleared, signed, sealed, delivered, all good. Everybody paid. However, and over the last 30 years, said boy has recreated the photo on the 20th anniversary, 25th anniversary, 20th and 25th. He recreated the photo, okay? Well, guess what? Now he wants $2.5 million because he says he is a victim of child pornography and sex trafficking. Only in America, and I'm not making this up. The 30-year-old who has posed in the same pose and hasn't changed much. Kidding. Posed in the same pose is now saying that it's child porn, which would mean if he wins the lawsuit, he hasn't really thought this through, because what it will mean is that his parents are child pornographers. So if he wins the lawsuit against Nirvana saying this is child porn, then his parents become child pornographers. Yeah. And he's so injured by it that only $2.5 million will take it away. After that, I guess it's not child porn. I don't think he's calling for the album to be, to be totally struck from public record. I just think he wants to be paid. Well, don't we all? Good luck to him. He'll probably get something because anybody can file a lawsuit against anybody. Although taking on Courtney Love, since she is the estate of Kurt Cobain, I don't know that I'd want to do that. I don't. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. So that's the first thing in the news that I thought you would find amusing. That the person, 2 years old, that was on the cover of Nirvana's Nevermind album, a naked little 2-year-old baby swimming in the pool. I always say that my parents were child pornographers. Your parents. How many of you have naked baby pictures? Naked here, naked there. I was like, Mother, did you ever dress me? Well, we were poor. What does that mean, Mama? I mean, I was always buck-ass naked, just running around the house, buck-ass naked, buck-ass. I'm like, what's going on? But, back in the day, they'd develop them. They'd hand them right back to you. Nowadays, red flags going off, Apple scanning your photos. Good Lord. He might win in today's environment. What a world. What a world. I wish someone had photographed me at 2.5 years old or 2 years old with my little wangy dangy out so I could then sue them and get $2.5 million for the pain and suffering of the world seeing my 2-year-old wangy dangy. Oh, you gotta laugh. You gotta love it. Mm-mm. I am loving my Harney and Sons vanilla tea that I had with a walnut cookie that I freshly baked because I keep them in the freezer. Which was a Toll House cookie that I made without the Toll House chips. Used walnuts instead. Vegan, of course. I'll tell you in the book how to do it. So Nirvana, yeah. And while we're talking about, pop culture stuff, let's talk about Jeopardy. I lost on Jeopardy. Let's talk about da 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 da, the song that made Merv Griffith millions. Let's talk about Mayim Bali. I've never been able to Blossom. Let's talk about Blossom replacing the guy who was an obvious sexist. I mean, he made called people hoes and sluts and all that. But maybe she was a hoe. Maybe she was a slut. I don't know. I don't know her. I'm not impugning her. He called her that, and he's out at Jeopardy. He's out at Jeopardy, baby. And enough singing for this show. And so now Mayim, the neuroscientist from Blossom and The Big Bang Theory, she gonna be doing the sub duties, I guess because LeVar Burton has turned them down now or something. I don't know. But in any event, it speaks to a larger issue, which is, since when did you have to be Pope Pious to host a game show? Okay. First of all, if the Jeopardy viewers don't mind that Mike Richards guy, called his co-host on his podcast a booth slut and a booth hoe because she was working a CES. I probably saw her. She was working CES 2 years ago as a model, this podcast co-host of his. And he goes, oh, you're one of those booth hoes, booth sluts. And that's derogatory. But if you've ever been to CES, they are tramps. Okay, now I'm never going to be on Jeopardy. And when I say they are tramps, I mean the men that make them wear the clothing that they wear make them appear to be hoes and tramps and sluts. Now, I am sure that the models at CES do not want to be out there looking like they look. Okay? I am quite sure they don't want to be in all that makeup and showing all their assets so they can advertise a microchip. Okay, I'm quite sure. CES isn't as bad. There's some conventions where there's literally girls in bikinis trying to get you to come and look at the booth. Okay, and that's all men. Really, that's how men want to dress those models to try to entice people in. But at CES, I have seen my share of boobulas. Just all pressed together and up out there, where you could use it to set your tea on, that. Oh, yeah, I've seen it. So he was making the comments that, oh, you a booth hoe. And the podcast resurfaced, of course, and out he went. Because women are like, we ain't going to watch that show with some man who called us a hoe. I'd be like, stop being a hoe then. Just kidding. I'm kidding. Inappropriate. I'm going to do I'm going to do a TV show one day called Inappropriate. And it's just going to be me actually talking like I talk. Mm-hmm. So he can't be on Jeopardy, but this Mayim Balak, whatever, can. But she's got some anti-somebody, and I don't know, anti-Mame, I don't know. She has some anti-something in her past as well, from Twitter or the Facebook or whatever. So I go back to, when did you have to be Pope Pious to host a game show? Okay? I don't look to the host of Jeopardy for my moral fiber or certitude or any of that. Alex Trebek was many things, but he was not a saint. Okay? Alex Trebek probably had a dungeon somewhere where he got jiggy with his wife. We don't know. We don't know if Alex Trebek didn't have leather harnesses and sex toys and dildos. We don't know. Okay, we do not know his freak on. Okay, we don't know. We don't know if he liked to dress up like a baby and have his wife paddle him while reading him the answers to Jeopardy. We don't know. Okay? We don't know. What is smack me again for 100? We don't know. And we never will. But would it matter? Would it matter if when Alex Trebek went home, he used to dangle himself by the nipples in the living room and be tickled on his tushy with a feather? Would it matter? No. Would it matter if off air he talked like a truck driver? Called everyone this and that and blah. No, it wouldn't. Why? Because he was a great Jeopardy host. That's why. And that's all you are being paid to be. Now you'll have to ixnay on the host slut A now that you're, hosting the show. But how long are we going to let people keep going? You know what? There are some people's past that should be held against them. For instance, guarded Auschwitz. That's something I would say now. We're not really ever going to forget that. January 6th insurrectionist and traitor to the United States. Yeah, no, Nick's ever comes up on a job resume, not going to hire you. Sorry. But there are some things in some people's past that we should probably just let be in the past. Because I don't know about you, but I wasn't the same person 5 years ago. I ain't going to be the same person in 5 years. And I've said some pretty damn inappropriate things on the radio, on the television. And you've said some in your living room, in your laundry room, if you have one, in your kitchen. Let's all stop being so Pope Pious here. Okay? America has climbed up on it. Half of America has climbed up on its high needle. And the other half, no bottom. Speaking of which, I bought some Vera Wang sheets at discount at Kohl's, and I came home. You can see it on my social media at Really Karel. And there was a tag inside that said top or bottom. And I thought, Vera, why do you need to know this? I just want to make my bed. Anyway, I'm assuming it meant that part of the sheet could be the top or the bottom. But I don't know. Someone could have been being nosy. Whatever. So, we have the Nirvana kid that wants a rebate. $2.5 million. It's child porn. We have the Jeopardy host who called someone a hoe and a slut and all that, getting out of the way. And now the new Jeopardy host has some baggage in her past. So enough. Either we can't put a priest. There'd be a lot in their past. And they're all grown now. They could be on Jeopardy. What is you molested me for 100, Father Pious? No. So we can't have that. But, put somebody, even, Barack Obama, he smoked pot. I mean, we all have something. Maybe not calling people hoes and all that, but we have something. Okay? Imagine Snoop Dogg trying to get the job. That's why he didn't even audition. He got a lot of records with it. Yeah, Jay-Z. Let Jay-Z go. Excuse me, did you say on this record? Yes, I did. Oh, God. Okay, so we've become this pious country. And see, there's a theme. I have 4 extra minutes according to my timer because I'm not going to leave the song in at the beginning. You all are just going to have to... I'll put it up on the YouTube, but it's not going to be in the show. I'm going to cut the show. Oh, but then I have to edit and re-output, and that takes an hour. If I leave the song in, I should have never sang it. It was in my head. It was driving me crazy. Anyway, so we've got kid yelling child porn for a song, for a cover that he's exploited for his own use because he wants $2.5 million. We have the Jeopardy host, now the new one, the Mayim Balik, whatever her name is. We have her having some baggage in her past, and me saying, leave her alone, leave every Jeopardy host alone. Can they host the show? Does the audience like them? I don't care if they tweeted 10 years ago. I don't care. I do not care. Are they that person now? Would they say that now? I think he is that person now. I think he is a misogynist. And I do believe there's been some models on The Price is Right that filed complaints against him. So no, he's a grabinating white guy, entitled. And so no, he shouldn't be the host of Jeopardy. Not because he said on the podcast, what are you, a booth hoe or a booth slut? Or no, but because that was indicative of a much larger problem than evidenced by people on The Price is Right and other co-workers. Given all that, then no, he shouldn't be the host. He should have never been considered because none of that was new. But the white straight men who were considering him didn't think anything of that. Well, I did, you did, we all did, he's gone. Now, I don't know what the Mayim baggage is that I'm reading about today, but who cares? It's a game show. I don't turn to the host. When I think of Pat Sajak, I just don't look to him for moral guidance. Drew Carey, Price is Right. When I look at Drew Carey, I don't think you must be an upstanding. I picture Drew Carey backstage snorting lines of coke longer than the length of White Line from here to Philadelphia. Really? He's probably not, but who would care? He hosts The Price is Right. I would hope he gets high. So we have this piousness happening now, and this hypocrisy with the vaccine is getting out of control. Out of control. Now, Delta Airlines, wants its employees to pay $200 a month if they're not vaccinated back to the company for any upcoming medical bills that they may encounter from not being vaccinated. And you're all thinking, okay. They don't want to pay that. They should get the vaccine. Hypocrites. All of you that think that. You're a bunch of hypocrites. Does Delta take $200 from smokers? From people who don't exercise 30 minutes a day? From people with high blood pressure if they're taking a blood pressure pill? Do they take $200 from people that work at Delta that are slightly obese, that are overweight? I know they have to employ them because 75% of America is overweight. So do they, and that includes office staff at Delta or ground crew. So do they tax that ground crew? If we are going to start this, unless you're vaccinated from COVID, you're going to be charged more, you're going to be treated differently, then you better treat everybody differently that is obese, has diabetes, has eaten their way into sickness, because they could stop. Look at me. You could stop. You could turn it around. You could lose the weight. You could be as healthy as you possibly could. Maybe you'll still be sick, and yes, you'll still die. But if we're going to start charging people who haven't had the vaccine because of then you better charge every fat-ass person you got on the insurance company. Everyone. Every employee that you give health care to that smokes, you better charge money. Every employee that you give health care to that does not exercise every single day, 6 days a week, you better start charging them some money. Everyone that is stressed and under financial strain or in a family situation that is stressed, you better start charging them money, because stress leads to high blood pressure, which leads to all kinds of things. So if we're going to make people pay and then prioritize service in hospitals and everywhere based on their health status and whether or not they've been inoculated, then you better start charging a service charge at McDonald's for every frickin' burger sold and put it in a health fund. And why don't we have a fat tax? Why doesn't everything at fast food get taxed at least 50 cents? Every single item, every Coke, every burger, every fry, all of it taxed 50 cents from what it's priced right now. Why? Because every one of those mofos are going to end up in the hospital one day, and we are going to have to pay for it. So let's get that money now. Medicare shouldn't have to pay for your trips to McDonald's. They're paying for my damn neighbors. 65 years old, living 3 in a house, smoking like chimneys, and twice a day they go to this McDonald's. Twice a day, like clockwork. Morning and then around 3 in the afternoon. Twice a day. Twice a day. They're obese, they're on crutches, they've had several medical procedures. Of course they have. How come they ain't paying? No. No. Delta is wrong. If you think that an unvaccinated employee is so bad, fire them. You're an at-will employer. Fire them. If they're union, let the union know. Either your members get the shot or they're fired. If it's that crucial to your bottom line, but no, you can be unvaccinated, but then you got to pay us $200. That is slimy and it is wrong. And I'm telling you that right now. Slimy and wrong. You hear me, Delta? Delta variant and Delta Airlines. Can you hear me? Oh, fire, fire, fire. Well, I'm in Las Vegas, so if you're not affected by the fire, you're not really realizing how bad this Caldor fire is. But in Vegas today on Healthful Air, my friend Tyler, who is in Reno, and he works in Truckee, which is right by Tahoe. And, they're thinking South Lake Tahoe might, for the first time, be evacuated. It's bad. The Caldor fire is bad. And every year now we have these. And so all my heart wants to say today is all of us, please be safe. If you're in the area affected by smoke like we are, pay attention to the warnings. It's not just trees burning. So please, if it says the air outside is unhealthy, don't go outside. Wear your mask for the COVID, but wear it for the smoke too. If you live in a town where they are considering evacuation, go now. Don't wait. Go. Get your, what would you take? I've been thinking about this so much recently. All of my stuffed animals that are on my bed at night, they go into a big laundry sack that Tyler gave me, and it's from his military days in the National Guard. And I put them all in there and tell them it's Santa's bag, and that way they don't get mad at me. And I thought to myself, I would throw them out the window if there was a fire. I can't replace my stuffed animals. They're memories from Andrew and my mom and all of that. I'd take Ember. A lot of my data's in the cloud, so I'm not really worried about the computers. I would take my laptop if I had time to evacuate. I would take the laptop, the Mac Mini, the iPad. I'd unplug them all. I wouldn't take monitors or keyboards or anything. I'd just take the brains. I would take Ember, this ring, which is always on me, and then everything I have is a priceless heirloom. So to pick and choose among them, I couldn't. Andrew's ashes are gone, so I wouldn't need to take those. Nope. Just the brains of my computers, my dog, me, this ring. Everything else is either too big, or, I couldn't. My photos are all digital now. So I don't have negatives. So many people lose, like I did with storage. My parents always had storage facilities and they were poor, so we wouldn't pay the bill. That's why that show, American Pickers, it makes me so sick. Because a lot of those people lose their storage because they can't pay. And so their belongings are sorted through. Someone sorted through my childhood one day in one of those U-Haul, rental places. Yep. Someone threw away my childhood. I don't have any baby. Earlier I said about baby pictures. There's probably 5 baby pictures of me, period, in existence. 5. And there's none of me at first grade or kindergarten. I have no pictures at school in the school plays and stuff. My parents didn't start really taking pictures until the 6th grade because they had no money. We were poor. It didn't happen. And when I was a baby, all those pictures got lost. There were some that my mom had in the Bible. But outside of that, that's it. All right. So, COVID is raging. Wear your mask. If you don't have to go to Florida, don't. What else? I guess that's it. That's everything for today. After I cut the song, if I do. The fire. Yes. Oh, you're going to see these two skeletons embracing. They found in China, these two lovers, these two skeletons. And I wanted to tell you about some they found a few years back called I want to get it right, the couple of lovers of Moderna. Okay? Those are two embracing skeletons they found earlier, 3 years ago. And recently, forensics has told us that the lovers of Moderna were two men. One was between 30 and 40, and one was between like 18 and 25. And they were in an embrace. So it's either A, father and son, or B, lovers. And given what else was and how they were found, they're believing it was lovers. So, and this dates back to the 300s. So I just want to tell any of you gay people out there listening, or any gay kids might be listening, because we're in the top 3% of podcasts. We're in the top 200 on Apple News Talk consistently. We're in the top 200 on Apple News Talk Canada, Apple News Talk Norway, consistently. Top 100 in some of the countries. So, and I can't make money. Isn't that something? But in case you're out there and you're young and you're gay and you're listening, two things. Watch the Dorian Awards this Sunday, August 29th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern at here.tv or at Planet Out TV on YouTube. Here.tv is free. And we've been gay forever. We've been loving each other forever. And in some cultures, they let us. Or we just did it. So don't think that you're feeling anything new. And don't think that someone else ain't been there before. Love is love, and they've been feeling it for each other for as long as there's been two people of the same sex and two people of the different sex. And everything in between. And it's not new to this age. Everyone's acting like all this gender non-binary and all that is new. It ain't new. Every culture has dealt with it or not, but it's been in every single culture. The only thing that's new now is we're talking about it. We're letting people express themselves more freely, but it ain't new because it's natural and it's normal to be gay, to be straight, to be bi, to be trans, to be queer, to be non-binary. All of these things, intersex, all of it, asexual, demisexual, all of it. It's all natural and normal part of being a human being. So guess what? Be who you want to be, so long as it doesn't hurt anybody. I am Karel. I love you bunches. I'll be back on Friday. And am I going to cut the opening song? God, I don't know. I'm running short on time. It's 4:20. Sweet baby Jesus. Bye, y'all. You know what I got to do, child. It's 4:20. Hello. Hello. I've been waiting all day for this. I told myself I wasn't going to get high until 4:20. How many of you make the bargains with yourself about when you're going to use the ganja? Huh? How many? I'm not going to smoke any until 5:30 until I get this job. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.